really buried. I had
Mm-hmm,
one of
mm-hmm,
those this morning. It was so weird. It was like I remember my grandmother who was lovely, and
mm-hmm.
we got along fine. And she was, very wonderful and generous as a grandmother. But she sang me this song, and it was sort of an inappropriate song, for a little kid. Yeah, just kind of like where like I was sort of like, we're not supposed to say that word in our house, and she's like, well, your parents aren't here,
Oh,
that
that's
kind of
hilarious.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Would she
And
really have done that in real life?
oh, she did.
Oh, she
She
did. Okay.
did. It was just it
Okay.
jogged a memory of mine. The dream that I had was something else, but
Oh,
I
oh.
woke up and I was like, oh yeah, Grammy's song that I wasn't supposed to tell my parents that she used to sing to me. I mean, it wasn't like really bad, but it was like, just you had like the sh word in the
Yeah.
song. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't say that word in my house. No
Oh.
way. But I could at grandma's house. Such a weird memory.
You're like,
All
grandma
right.
would do anything. All right.
Ready to create some
I
memories
can
of
do
our
anything
own?
I want. I can eat cookies. I can swear. It's great.
What?
Love grandma's house.
All right.
All
Well,
right. Okay.
All
Turn
right.
this is loud.
We are ready to do the show, so I will go ahead and count myself in. In a three, two. It is Apple Vision Show, all things Apple, episode 55. Eileen Rivera, this feels like a nice symmetrical episode for us.
Oh, I think so. I think so. I'm very excited to be here this week, like every week. I'm also scratching my head as I was looking for headlines for today, and I was like, "Well, there ain't much going on, Sarah. It's the
You
same,
know,
same
it
old."
it's funny because when you're covering Apple News, and a lot of folks just to I was about to say backtrack a tiny bit. People go, "Oh, so it's a show about the Apple Vision Pro," and I'm like,
Mm.
"Well, no, that was just what we called it because we thought we were being very clever." Apple
Mhm.
Vision Show is about all things Apple. It's vision, our vision. Do the align, all the things, and the Pro. Apple Vision Pro certainly is part of that. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, we were too clever for our own good.
Yeah.
Apple Vision Show. I still think it's a great show. But anyway, back to your point, Apple has been in the news for all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But much of that is kind of political and not necessarily like the lifestyle slant that we like to try to
Mhm.
use.
Mhm.
So yeah, so there are certain weeks where they're like, well, there's a lot of Apple news, but like, is it for us? Is it for us? Because we're kind of
Yeah.
like, let's talk about using Apple products, Apple
Mhm.
software. Yeah,
Mhm.
media that Apple is providing us. Like that's kind of where we're coming from.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, in fact, really all we've read about recently are tariffs, meetings with
Yeah.
public political figures. It's like, "Oh, yeah." I mean, you guys know about that out there maybe, but I'm guessing that, people listening to this show isn't coming for that piece of information.
Probably
So,
not. Probably not. I
yeah.
mean, if for whatever reason you have found us and and you're not listening to other Apple news, hey, we love you. Thank you so much. We're glad to have you. But yeah, some kind of key points, I guess, over the last oh gosh, month.
Yeah.
But since we were, we all saw you last. Is that Apple's shares of its stock is very volatile right now. I
Mhm.
mean, the
Mhm.
Apple was down, just a couple of weeks ago when tariffs by the U.S. administration against a variety of companies, a variety of countries rather, and China being the one that the tariffs were the most extreme against, but a variety of countries were going to affect Apple in a pretty major way. And this is ongoing. This is not something that we're like, well, and they all figured it out and everyone went home and had a nice night. This is definitely ongoing, but the story does keep changing. At first, thinking of Apple in particular, the idea that tariffs on particular countries that we need to make iPhones, for example. Then there was the whole that that's going to be a big deal that will be passed on to the consumer. And then there was a narrative of, well, we could make iPhones in the U.S. Now that may be true. I think that that's a really far-fetched pipe dream, but I'm not alone. A lot of people who are, kind of into supply chain stuff, saying there's no way. There's no way. You can't do it. Even if you were to have a Foxconn plant in Arizona, for example. I'm just making this up right now on the fly. But even so, you're going to have to get so many parts from abroad, from a variety of places. So it's messy.
Yeah, it's messy. And that's stuff that is, like you said, unpredictable. It's like a big roller coaster. Every day we have new set of news. So, it's probably something that you don't want to hear from us. Like, this is very disconcerting, or maybe you do. I don't know. Let us know. But, yeah, I do. I actually thought about it, and I thought, wow, maybe if iPhone prices really skyrocket, that finally I will stop that membership of mine, that yearly, replacement iPhone, and just keep the one that I have, because it's pretty darn good. Technology is pretty good. I think I could stick with it for a couple years, to be honest with you. I'm not, racing to change it. And whatever fantastic new iOS that we're going to get, that is going to be revealed at WWDC, the one that's going to like blow our mind, Sarah. Like, I have a feeling my phone
I'm ready. Let's do it.
My phone is pretty new, so I doubt it's going to be rejecting anything new. So I'm excited. I mean, maybe the new phone in September will have something, that is different from the 16 Pro that I have. That, it'd be nice to have the new phone, but I don't know. We're really in that era of, do I really need it? Now, I did lose my Apple Pencil the other day, and boy, I mentioned to Amos this, and he's like, well, why don't you just do the Find Me thing? I'm like, because I don't have that feature. I have the old Apple Pencil. I just got to dig for it.
Wait a second. So the old Apple Pencil doesn't work with Find My?
Not mine. The new one that came out like last year, right? That was the one that has it. Yeah, with the little touch, So I have to find it. I have to dig for it. And I did. I found it.
Did Seven the dog eat it? Okay, you found it.
I did. It was in the couch, like buried in there. So it's possible, because Seven does sleep on the couch sometimes, that he could have just pushed it a little bit further down. That, he's pretty good about not destroying things right now. I should really knock on wood, but that could change. He's only a year. But no, he did not take it from me. And we found it, but I could have used that Find My feature. So like little augmented things like that. That could be new. There could be something like that related to the new iPhone that, oh man, I wish I had. But is it necessary? Listen, I found my pencil. Did I need that Find My? No, I found my pencil. So,
well, you say that, but I can't tell you how many times I've been like, Apple Watch. Where is my phone? It's not in the office, so this will be.
Okay, here we go.
Not that exciting, but when I'm like,
find that phone.
Well, what's too many people are texting me right now, but you know the situation, where it's like, it's da 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 da, and I'm like, oh, there's my phone, and people are like,
your phone.
Why don't you have your phone just on your person at all times? I'm like, I don't know, because I
You don't need
have a
to.
computer in the office and a laptop. Like, my phone is not on my body at all times. If I'm out of the house, it is. That's different. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the house without my phone. That would be
Yeah.
crazy. But but inside the house, I have no idea what's going on, with my phone. Also don't go to bed with my phone. My phone is not in the bedroom. So in the morning, I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's out of batteries. Who knows?
Well, you know what? You've trained yourself too to know that you could use your watch, and you use your watch all the time, right?
All the time. Yeah.
That's like your security there. It's like, well, I'm going to find my phone. My watch is here, which coincidentally, I just got the little message because I haven't charged this thing in a while. You have 10% battery, but because this is the latest watch,
10% battery, Eileen.
I have-
10%.
I know.
Okay.
It gave
You're
me the,
living on the
where to
edge.
charge it. But the thing is, I know I just put that in the charge for an hour and I'm ready to go. It's not like, oh, I have to wait for a long time, not even an hour, and it'll be recharged. So again,
Not even an hour.
beauty of
That's
having-
what people always say. They're like, how do you wear your watch overnight? And I'm like,
right.
well, I mean, if you don't like the feel of it, then you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
care. And I want, sleep stuff,
Yeah.
just data. But they're like, but then, I mean, how do you keep it charged? And I'm like, well, I get up, I go pee, I make some coffee, I sit down at my computer and I charge my watch and it's
Yeah.
charged for the rest of the day. It's so
Yeah.
easy to do that.
Yeah, like we have something to do this evening, but I'm not worried. I'm just going to go put this in the charger and be ready to go. That's the beauty of having a new watch. Whereas my older watch that I replaced, I would just be like, well, I'm not wearing a watch for the rest of the day. I gotta charge that thing all night long. That granny watch.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Again, the perks of having a new phone with all the new features. Oh, here's another thing I discovered. Since we don't really have that much news, I'm like, oh wait, I do have something personal. I got a notification that my watch says that I might have sleep apnea.
What?
Yeah, but the thing is, Sarah, I don't always wear my watch. I'm not like you where I wear it every night, So I'm wondering if the data is correct.
You were right. Like, it's like, are
And
we
how
talking about like
long?
1 night, 2 nights type thing?
Exactly. So I need
Because
to
you
dig
you
in
would
a little
need
bit.
probably like several months to be like
Right, and I
confidently
just-
like, yeah, you might have sleep apnea.
And I just turned on that feature not long ago. So that's why I'm like, listen, it's not like I don't want to be like that person who doesn't listen to Waze. And then like, you're like, now, oh, I got into trouble because I didn't listen to the maps,
Right, yeah.
So I will take this seriously and I will, look into it. And I actually, have to see my doctor soon for, annual stuff. So I'll just mention it to her. But I am curious because I'm like, wait, I don't wear it all the time. Could it be that I have, I haven't, my sleeping schedule's kind of erratic, So I don't know. Maybe a lot of that is adding to this, which then maybe contributes to the diagnosis. So we shall see. But that is a new thing.
All kidding aside, it's a good thing to, at least be like, you know what? I got a little flag about this doctor that I'm now talking to. And, what do we do at this point type thing? I mean, I don't think that I have sleep apnea, but I definitely have, if I go down for sleep and I am asleep for 8 hours, oh my gosh, it's Christmas morning the next day, because it's very rare that I can do that. I don't know. I get hot and I'm, flailing around in the middle of the night. I have to get some water. Like, there are many reasons why 8 hours from, going to sleep to waking up aren't really sleeping. And, the apnea thing is there. I mean, there are lots of medical ways
Factors.
to help people. Sleep better, because we all have to sleep.
Yeah, and I have to say, I probably have not had good sleep in a while. So, if this is just for me to actually focus on fixing that, then great, So
Yeah.
I'm not panicked or anything. I'm just like, all right, well, it's just, I'm not surprised and I'm surprised, and then I question it. So anyway, it's very interesting to have that piece of data at all. So well, not long ago we didn't, right? So
Well, before we move on, well, while we're on the subject of losing things,
Mhm.
where's your phone? Are you wearing your watch? That sort of thing. So, back for many years, my Apple TV was in my living room,
Oh.
attached to my living room TV, and that was kind of like that was just the deal. And yeah, the Apple TV has never been like attached to like Ethernet or anything. So it was like, yeah, we're just we're just chilling Wi-Fi style, which was great. However, the Apple TV remote, bane of my existence. I mean, talk about losing something in a couch cushion. I mean,
Yeah.
every day, every day. Even when I was like, no, I'm gonna like really pay attention to this and like hold it in my hand. Somehow I would like fall asleep during a show, and it would just go down into the couch cushions, and then I would have to like tear apart my house the next day, being like, where is it?
Yeah.
Where could it have gone? Even if you're like, oh, it's in the couch. It's like, no, sometimes it goes like in between, like
Yeah.
all the way down. Oh my God. So
Yeah.
this happened the other day. So to go back to it. So in my living room now, I don't even have an Apple TV. I have an LG smart TV, and I just use the LG remote that the TV came with. It's fine. I have some gripes here and there, but it's totally fine. The Apple
Yeah.
TV has been moved into the bedroom, which is also fine. But, the bedroom is just a great place for things to go missing. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I mean, I'm not like having like, we're like on a trampoline in here. Like, what is happening? What is happening to the remote? Every morning I wake up and I'm
Yeah.
like, where's the remote? Where's the remote? And and sometimes I'm like, well, I don't really care because I like don't even really watch TV in here anyway, or
Okay,
I
yeah.
won't need to till like 10 hours from now. And then I come back and I'm like, but where is it really? Like, is it
Yeah.
under a pillow? Did I do that?
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. So it kind of turns into like this, like, where's the remote today?
Does Otis or Ralphie take it from you secretly? And then they're like,
I
let's just
don't
push
think
this.
so.
Let's push this here so mom can do a little gymnastics trying to find.
Can you imagine? I mean, listen, I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't think so. I think honestly, it's just because listen, the Apple TV remote. I am not the only person who hates this thing, and I know it's gotten better over the years.
Yeah.
The buttons have been kind of rejiggered, and you can sort of feel out certain buttons here and there, and that it's thin and light. All
Yeah.
good things on the surface. However, this is a thing that just slips away from you.
Yeah.
No other
Well-
remote has ever had, I've never had a problem with any other remote except this one.
Well, and also if your Apple TV is in your bedroom and your iPhone is not in your bedroom, you can't just simply like what I do when I can't find the remote or I'm just too lazy to get up and get it. I'm like, well, I got my phone. Sure.
Right,
Remote,
right.
dun,
which
dun, dun,
which
dun,
I
you
could
know?
do. I could
Yeah,
do.
but you don't have your phone in your bedroom a lot of time, right? You're like,
No,
I
in
don't know
fact,
where it is.
like when it's in the bedroom, I'm like, I don't know. It just
Yeah,
makes me feel like
so-
work. Like I don't know. I just like it's chill time, man. I don't want my phone in here.
It is handy to have the remote on your phone, but it's still a bit virtual, and I do like to hold it. And not that like the volume. Sometimes I'm like, "Where's the volume?" Because I don't use the remote on my phone so much, but
Yeah.
it is quite handy to have that available. I just do the swipe because it's there on the drop down, settings, drop down, boom. And then whatever, I start doing my thing. And the other thing it's also really good for is typing in passwords if you need. because that thing could be so annoying with your Apple TV remote. T over back to A, up, down. You know what I mean? It's like so annoying to type with your Apple TV remote. RRT08 in the chat says Channel Master Simple Remote is a good replacement and easier to use for Apple TV. So
I have heard
good
about
note.
this.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I have, and thank you for mentioning it, RT08. Yes, the whole it used to be. It's so funny. Like the remote thing is like it used to be like Harmony remote. That's the remote. You know.
Yeah. I remember.
If you want to level up on remotes, it's the Harmony, and Harmony still is making remotes as far as I know. But it's more of like, but why not just make the Apple TV remote less, I don't know, slippery?
Small.
Because all it does is go between my couch cushions, and then I have to tear apart my house the next day.
I see this. If I'm looking at the right one, the Channel Master Simple Remote, it's longer. There's a few more buttons. There's quite a few more buttons. So perhaps, yeah. I mean, it looks like the possibility of you losing it is less because it's just like it looks like an inch or two longer, and it's only $25. That's not bad.
No,
I was
definitely
expecting it to
isn't.
be like $50-$60 or something, but
I mean,
that's not bad at
Apple
all.
would
charge you that. Yeah.
Does Apple actually charge you for an Apple TV remote? Like if you just happen to be like, can't find it, need another one. Like, do they sell those? I don't know.
I don't
think they
know.
don't. I feel like they only sell them bundled with an Apple TV. Hard to
Let's
say.
see here. It looks like, well, I see a remote here that you could buy on Amazon. Apple TV Siri remote only.
Oh, okay.
$58.
$58. See? So okay, so here we are talking about. Well, I mean, it's Apple, right? Of
Yeah.
course, it's $58.
Mhm.
The Channel Master Simple Remote for what did you say? Like
25.
Yeah. I mean, come on, let's do
If
it.
I lose, if I lose
And if
this
it-
Apple TV remote,
if
I'm
it's-
getting the Channel Master.
Well, and if it's chubby enough to not, just slip through my couch, or my, my, at this point, I guess my bed pillows, all the happier. Man, I cannot tell you how many times I've just been like on the floor, like being like, I see it.
Yeah.
Let me just get it out of the,
Yeah.
like, thank you, Apple. I know it's great. It's like so clean and cool and
Yeah.
also really easy to lose in someone's house. All right. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
There's too many ways. If you lose something, let us know. We can't be the only one. I know a lot of people lose their AirPods, right? Like, or their any
for
kind of
sure.
earbuds. I have the Beats earbuds, and I can't tell you how many times if I'm just walking, sometimes it just like boop falls out. I'm like, wait, because it's just not so well fit, I guess, in my ear, particularly the left side. So, these technologies are great, but they can be easily lost. So, yeah.
They can.
And
they will.
Yes, especially if you're like us.
All right. So, shall we take a quick break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, coming back from the break, and for some reason, I am sorry, my browser has crashed, and that is not helpful to anybody. So, Eileen, tell us what we're talking about.
Well, Sarah also lost her browser. So thinking
I
about
lost
losing
my browser.
things-
Like, I have a problem. I'm also late to every meeting I've ever been to, so whatever.
Okay. Well, there's always rumors, right? We've got tons of rumors about the new iPhones. How many times have we talked about foldable phones for the next iPhone or a future iPhone. Well, apparently, here's a new one. The Apple Vision quote unquote Air will use titanium to cut weight and come in black. There was a leak. A leak. Do we trust these leaks? I don't know. Have no idea.
I mean,
But
yeah.
sometimes these leaks are kind of fun to speculate. And basically, the let's see here. The leaker came onto X and said, "Our friend in the Apple Vision lineup is so thin. Our next friend, featuring titanium to reduce weight, including the connectors, the battery, and all comes with iPhone 5 Era Black." Which looks like graphite dark blue. And be noted, this might not be called as Pro, but you can air it out. Okay, I don't know if this person's being, funny or whatever. Anyway, the device is supposedly really thin, titanium, like I said, black, blue, graphite color, and with the name Air. There's a lot of us that want thinner, more lighter
Yeah,
Apple Vision
yeah,
Pros.
that's
So if it's
definitely
just
a
called
thing.
Apple Vision Air, just like we have a Mac Air, I would welcome that.
Yes.
But it
We
all
got
depends on the
iPad
price.
Air, MacBook Air.
Yes.
I mean, the
Bring it.
Air line for Apple has been
Mhm.
pretty successful over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, people like
you know,
light. They like thin.
they like myself included, and it's if you want a like souped out MacBook Pro, then sure, the Air is not going to be the Pro for you, right? But and I say this all the time, my 2020 era M1 MacBook Air still chugging along. I mean, I have seen some kind of like, okay, it wheezes a little bit here and there. When I say wheezes, like it's not audibly because there's no fan, but it has slowed down a bit. But I mean, we're going on 6 years of like
Yeah.
pretty hardcore usage of the Air. But going back to the Apple Vision Air, where this idea of it, I don't care about the color at all.
Oh yeah, I don't care either. It's
I'm like, if you're wearing it, why you can't see it? But you could also say that about lots of other things. It's like, well, I mean, if you're like holding the phone to your, head, why do you care what your case looks like? It's like people do care. It's nice to
Yeah.
have options. But I think the bigger thing with this reported Apple Vision Air is that it is lighter and it's less expensive.
Yeah, okay. So that's the key point to all of this. Wow, look at you balloons there. Less expensive. I don't know if you saw the balloons flying on your own screen, but yeah, and reportedly there would be two new versions, this Air and then a Pro 2 version, and that one would plug into your Mac apparently, and that's on a report over the weekend by Mark Gurman. So, hey, what is cheap? What is cheaper? What would it? I mean, under $1,000, maybe. I don't think that's what it's going to be, but under $1,000 would get people interested. I think in a Apple Vision Air. I'm sure it would have capabilities that the Pro doesn't have. But if you were just interested in trying, this device, maybe that could get it. But I'm just saying that under 1,000, it's probably not. It's probably not. That's my wishful thinking.
The whole Vision Pro, the whole Apple Vision Pro, everything, where people are like, was it a flop? Like, can we call it a flop yet? It's like, well, I think for some people, yes, it was. You wanted, them to fly off the shelves. Too expensive. And also for developers. Now, yes, Eileen, you and I have, both played around with the Vision OS, to a point. I mean, me a little bit more than you, but it's early days. That's what it is. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to be an apologist about something that, did people really think that, the whole world was going to buy a $3,500 no, there's no way that's true. And Apple was starting from scratch. So yes, developers, or early adopters, which I would include us in that category. Let's figure out like how does this work? How does it not work? It does a lot of things that other VR competitors do not do. For example, Meta Quest. Meta Quest is not like I'm going to put this on and work all day. Maybe you could do that, but it's really more about like games and that sort of, sort of like I'm going to go do something fun, for the next 45 minutes. The Vision Pro's promise was, oh, this is your new office. And it still could be.
Yeah.
Be,
Yeah.
But I do think that whoever bought that thing already bought it.
Yeah.
So now the idea of like, an Apple Vision Air, lighter, less expensive, maybe just like is more consumer friendly out of the gate.
Yeah.
I think that could be interesting.
I'm sure a lot of you laughed at me when I said under $1,000 because the unit itself right now is $34.99. So let's just slash it in half. So 17, right? Maybe 17, but even then that's too much for me, but maybe not too much for some people who are really curious and would want to try. But we also I still think we need to be dazzled a little bit more with capabilities, So if and when this new device or any upgrade, Vision Pro 2 or Vision Air, like we gotta see what else it could do that is game changing for us, that we would like, hey, maybe I don't need an iPad anymore and I'm just going to use the Vision Pro as my supplemental device. That would be compelling if you could knock off one of your devices that you use all the time. But I can't imagine someone who loves to draw on the iPad, like, I don't know, maybe doing that all the time in the air, like drawing. I could see Scott Johnson doing this all day long, with his Vision Pro drawing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's already like people want the tactile touch, when you use the pencil on the pad, they want that like paper feeling. So you have those like, stickers.
In all fairness, you can pair the Vision Pro to, for example, if I were wearing it right now, which I'm not, but if I were, like I can pair my keyboard to the Pro and like you can make your situation like basically your monitor is in your face, but everything else is kind of still tactile.
Yeah.
Now, not everybody is, I actually mentioned this to a friend and he was like, I can't type without looking at my hands. And I was like, oh yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. Because like, I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't take typing in school, so I don't remember where all the keys are. Right. So that would be
right. Yeah. Like you can't,
keyboard. You'd have to,
it's not going to work for everybody.
Yeah.
I think it really, I don't know.
That's when you just got to use voice. Today I was typing a bunch of things. I was literally typing a lot of notes today and I thought, why am I not triggering voice? Because I have long nails and I was constantly misspelling. I'm like, oh my God, I know how to spell this, but I'm like when I'm typing fast, I look up, I'm like, how many spelling mistakes do I have? But if I'd just done voice is pretty good on Apple, I have to say. Like it does catch, catches everything. Yeah.
In fact, just this morning, I was walking the dog. It's early and, I'm kind of barely awake. And I got a text from somebody that I had to respond to like pretty quickly. And, so I got my watch. I get the text on my watch. But like to like type back on a watch, like, no, that's not happening. And what the watch, if it's paired with your phone, and my phone was like in my little crossbody bag at the time, the watch will say like, do you want to type this on your phone? And then you're like, yes, thank you. Because otherwise it's like, I mean, talk about hunting and pecking. But what I do now, anytime this happens and I'm like, oh, I have to respond like right now, not in 15 minutes, like right now. I just I just voice dictate. Yeah. And then sometimes it's like, gets it a little wrong. But again, I'm like, I'm on the move.
Yeah.
I'm not really looking at anything. I'm just like, hey, on a walk, talk to you in 10 minutes.
It's mostly
And
right
that
though.
is very helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah.
So at least someone's like, okay, I'll, 10, 15 minutes, we'll like actually have the conversation that you're not able
Yeah.
to have right now because you're juggling a million things,
Yeah.
But I think we've always been in that position where it's like, I can't respond right now, but now it seems like I'm ignoring her.
Right.
That kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like, you don't want that either. You want that, like, that easy, it's like, again, going back to the bridge thing. It's like, it's like the bridge response. Like, hey, give me a sec.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know AI, Apple
Oh.
AI, and many others are trying to, make that a thing, but that is, no way. I mean, if I were to use some of that stuff, people would be like, "Why are you so mad at me?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no, speak to you later. I'm like, why would I ever say that? Like, you need to know me better, Siri.
Yeah. Maybe it will eventually. But that's the thing. Like, I've been very impressed with voice recognition on, like I just turn my notes app on and I'll just blah, 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 which I should have done while I was working on this thing earlier today. But I'm still like, how is voice dictation so good, but SIRI understanding that voice dictation is still horribly wrong? I asked it the other day. I promised not to complain about it this week, but here we go. I asked it, like, what is the flight time between two cities? And it was like, it just decided to give me, I don't remember what it was, but something like I asked for the flight time and it gave me weather instead. I'm like, nowhere did I say what is the weather in blah. I said, what is the flight time between these two cities? And he, whatever your SIRI
They,
is, just
sure.
they could not for the life of me get it right. And then finally was like, should I use ChatGPT? I was like, yes, just use to do it. My God.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly, now I think I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm constantly asking her things because I just want to see how much she gets wrong. He, they, whatever. See,
Yep.
SIRI. I just want to know, can you get any of this right? Can you show me an answer?
I am definitely there with you. We've talked about this before, but I don't use SIRI really anywhere besides my car. But,
okay.
I live in LA. I drive around a lot. CarPlay, big deal. And that is a big part of just me being like, where's the donut shop I asked you about 40 minutes ago? Like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
So I'm constantly trying to kind of trip SIRI
Also,
up.
you too. Yeah. It's like, we just
Yeah.
want to see what else can it
I
mess
just
up?
want to like, what are you capable of? And where I'm like, wow, that's impressive. And
Right.
where are you like, nah, it didn't work. And also, like, is there something that I can do as, the human who's giving you the prompts differently that because it's all sort of like, how do we all work out these questions, these queries, these prompts, the back and forth that makes the AI make more sense for us.
Right, because it's collecting data for everybody, right? So
Yeah.
let's get to a point where we're, making it smarter to help us better. You're thinking about it the right way. I'm just like, yeah, show me I've already lost so much confidence.
I mean, I'm
just
thinking about it the right way, but at the same time, it's like, it's still like annoying.
it is.
I'm like,
it is.
just be smarter, stupid.
I'm really trying not to type anymore, but you're making me type. You're making me get into Safari and go, fine, let me just fine. I'll do it myself. I'll just do it myself like I always have. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, listen, everybody, we love having you around for our conversation and along for the ride. I was like, around for the ride? That's not a thing. Maybe SRI would have said that to me at some point, but
Yep.
yeah, no, I have I don't know. I guess Cowboys on the brain, but Eileen, we have to
Yes.
talk about some Apple TV Plus shows because we
Yes.
always do. We always
Yes.
do on the show. So let's talk about Your Friends and Neighbors. Are you watching?
I am 45 minutes into the first episode. I just started watching it right before the show, and I was like, oh, I want to keep watching. I'm actually into it. It sucked me in. First of all, John Hamm is the star of the show.
Well, listen,
And if
John.
you
I
love-
mean, who doesn't like John Hamm? Let's be
I mean, I'm
honest.
sure there's someone
if
out
somebody
there.
out there doesn't like John Hamm, I
just
would
like-
I would like you to tap in because I want to know what is
Right.
going on in your life. Everyone loves John Hamm.
He's great in this right now. Again, I haven't finished the episode, so I think there's a lot that happens because the beginning of the episode is quite crazy already.
Yeah.
But I guess in broad strokes, he's a guy down on his luck right now. And we're just the first episode is setting everything up. And, it debuted actually to really good numbers. It just debuted this week and was at some point the number one show on Apple TV. But the studio has come back and now that is now number one on Apple
The Studio
TV currently.
also a good show.
I know. I
enjoying
need to watch that one because
They're
that one's
very
only 30
different
minutes.
shows.
Yes,
Very different
that's what
shows.
I understand. But there are 3 episodes out. Oh no, sorry, 2 episodes out already of Your Friends and Neighbors, and the third one is coming out. Seems like tomorrow. So I am,
You're into it.
optimistic. I'm
Yeah.
into it because I'm like, all right, we've got some interesting characters. He has his ex-wife. He's got his ex-wife has a new guy. He's interesting. He's got 2 kids. He's dating, and then he's got some, work issues, and he's got a lot of bills. He's got, he talks about this in this montage at the beginning of like buying a house and he's broke, buying another house and he's still broke, buying a third house. He's still broke. But then, he's able to pay for it. But then things just go wrong in his life, So, I think right now, you see John Hamm, right? You see him, you think of Don Draper, but in this show and most of the stuff that he does, I see his face. He looks very familiar, but I always feel like he sinks into that role. He is not Don Draper. He is not just John Hamm. He is whoever he is in this role. And I see him as this, divorcee. And like, I see him going through these things and I believe he's this character. So whenever an actor can do that and I can forget who they are, not that I know that much about John Hamm's personal life, but I think it's great.
I know
think
nothing about his personal life. Like I
he's
don't
pretty private, I think,
I
like
know nothing, but I know what you mean. It's like, yes. So, going back to Mad Men, which, put John Hamm on the map in a big way, Don Draper, very kind of stoic, but problematic and smart, but very, damaged, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, he also has, appeared in a variety of comedies where he's so different, and just like everyone's like, oh, it's Don Draper, but it's like a comedy. Like
Right.
Bridesmaids, for example. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that is not Don Draper. No.
no.
I feel like this character is more of, him being like, I know what you guys want from me. I know what you like about me, but I can do a little something else as an actor. I like the show.
Yeah.
Again, talking about problematic stuff. I mean, it is an adult show. So, take that into consideration if you haven't started watching it. It's, this is, we're talking about adult stuff.
Yeah.
It would probably be rated R if we were in the theater.
Maybe, but
Mad
you
Men
asked-
would too. So
right now you did describe Dope Thief to me last week, but that one is even more harsh, right? I haven't seen it yet. That one is like,
yeah.
close your eyes. Don't even bring the children into the room, kind of thing.
No goodness. I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do in your own house, but no, it's very it's not it's NSFW. Let's call it
okay.
that. So
Yeah.
that's where we
Yeah.
are on that. on that front. Still like the show. I'm into
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good stuff. I mean, Apple TV Plus is serving right now.
I think they are. I know we've talked a lot about they're not like the biggest streamer on the planet, but we also have mentioned the fact that they kind of lean on quality before quantity.
Right.
And, maybe not everybody has the opportunity to get an Apple TV or a subscription to it, but, they're doing their best to at least give you or the people that already have it, the best type of shows with quality directing, quality acting, so that if you should ever want to, experiment and try the service, that you'll probably find something that you like. And it's long gone. It's long past the days where it's like, really, we just have the Jason Momoa show. Like, it's long past that, I mean, there's so many shows on Apple TV now. Again, it's not comparable to
Yeah.
Netflix or, Amazon, but it's got a decent amount
Well,
of original.
in very typical Apple fashion, we're not like the other guys
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
other gals, other than
Yes.
whatever. It's like we're Apple. We do everything we do is meticulous and expensive and better. And not everybody is going to play into that, but that, I feel like that's what Apple TV Plus is. That's the promise of
Right.
the platform. And to be honest, I don't watch every single thing on
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus, but I watch most of them and they're good. It feels like when I was a kid and like it's like, ooh, HBO, like original
Yeah.
series. Wow.
Right.
How cool. Like I can't imagine having cable so I could, like that's what it feels like to me. And maybe
Yeah.
there's a nostalgia play that Apple is going for here, but I do feel like, I mean, I don't know. Not everyone's going to watch Severance. We've talked about Severance ad
Yeah.
nauseum, but
Yeah.
it's like that is just, I mean, that's a show that has become like, a lexicon. People talk about it, people reference it. There are jokes, inside jokes. It's like it has struck a chord, and you only need one, really.
You only need one. I think I was just thinking about it. Remember back in the day for Netflix, everybody talked about it was House of Cards, right? That's what brought them to being like the serious contender on, like a network, basically. I think I would say Ted Lasso is that for Apple TV, wouldn't you? Or
Yeah.
it's like that's their centerpiece, it feels like. And I
Mhm.
know they have a Oscar winning award film, Coda, and they have other films, but now looking at the TV shows, I feel like what people would at first subscribe to is because of Ted Lasso. But then, Severance is kind of, I feel like a close second there, Sarah. Am I missing another Apple TV show that is like in the zeitgeist of everyone's?
I don't think so. No, I mean Ted Lasso for sure. And Severance again. Not for kids really, but
Yeah.
but like also like I mean nothing like you're not. It's not going to be something like Dope Thief.
Right.
Just know this going into it. Yeah, I can't really think of anything besides
I mean,
those
the
two.
morning
But
show, but I don't
the
think that
morning-
appealed to everybody.
I love the morning show.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. But yeah, it not for everybody.
Yeah.
I think there are many friends of mine who, we all talk about like, what's the new TV show? What's the new movie? What do we watch? And I remember watching the morning show and someone was like, should I watch it? And I was like, I don't know if you would like it.
Right. I
And
don't know that it's for everybody either. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, not that it's bad. It's a good show, but it's a specific kind of drama.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, I'm just literally scrolling through Apple TV right now, and I seriously like. Okay, I think the one that we could recommend to everybody is Ted Lasso. That is the one. I think I could be like, oh, if you want to watch one show on Apple TV, I think it's Ted Lasso.
I mean, first of all, great show. Second of all, very inclusive. Like everybody could
Yeah.
watch this. Like you don't have
Exactly.
to worry about like, there being like gun violence in the show or
I mean,
like
there's
the
a
kids can't
bit of
watch it.
profanity. There's a bit of profanity
There's some
with
profanity,
Roy.
but it's kind of lighthearted.
I know. Yeah, it's all
This is me being the Ted Lasso apologist. I'm like, it's lighthearted profanity.
it's
fine.
totally like it's like, it doesn't mean a thing. It's just it's a show. It's fantasy.
It's
right?
a show.
Not that everything else is real life, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, your friends and neighbors. So far we can recommend it. Now we'll get back to you on whether or not we still recommend it after watching a few more episodes.
Indeed.
So far,
I mean, a
it's
lot of
good,
other
yeah.
people out there are watching it. The numbers say so. So if you do have thoughts on your friends and neighbors, maybe you're watching it, maybe you don't like Ted Lasso. I don't know. Whatever
Yeah.
your feelings are about anything we talk about on this show, send it our way. feedback@applevisionshow.com. We really appreciate that. And yeah, we're not living in a silo here. Haha. See what I did there? Uh-huh.
Another good show on Apple TV.
It is. It is. But yeah, the more we know about what you guys and gals like and want to hear more about, the better. So thank ya.
Thank you.
Well, Eileen, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up episode 55 of Apple Vision Show.
Sounds good.
Any strongly worded words for the audience before we bounce out of here?
Have a joyous week.
Well, that's nice.
I just wanted something nice and simple. I don't know where
nice
that
and
came
simple.
from.
Yeah.
I don't know where that almost sounded ominous. Have a joyful week, everybody.
Have a joyful week, okay? I don't need to talk about this at any length, but I watched The Wizard of Oz recently. And one of my favorite parts of the movie in the beginning is when Glinda tells Dorothy, because Dorothy's like, I'm wearing these ruby slippers. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, just follow the yellow brick road. And she's like, and she's like, no, just follow it. And then just like flies off because she's a witch. Sometimes I think about that where I'm like, yeah, I think we all have those times where we're like, all right, thank you. I guess I'll just figure it out. Yep. Figure it out.
Sometimes you just got to do that.
Gotta do it. But anyway, thank you to everybody for being with us. Episode 55, nice symmetrical episode. And we will talk to you next time.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo's.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I literally used to see this going on Apple TV. I'm like, what else do they have? I mean, they don't have that big of a catalog, but I still thought maybe I was missing one show. I went, there's something that I'm completely missing, forgetting about, but I don't think so. Let's see here. Yeah, no. I do definitely want to see the studio. I need to watch that. So many people that I know love it.
It's funny.
It's unique.
And unique.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's unique in the way that it's not unique.
Okay.
Yeah, when I say it's funny, it's like, it's not like ha funny. It is like, anybody who has worked in production, which we all have.
Yeah, that's
We'll be like, okay, I get
It's
it.
very inside baseball.
Yeah.
That's my friends that work in the industry are like, oh my god, you have to watch this, Eileen. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
It takes the entire industry and just puts it tongue in cheek and says, okay, well, let's how far can we expand on this idea this episode?
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to tell everybody on the live audience goodbye?
Bye, guys. See you later.
See you later.